People who knew the most likely to succeed person in school, how did they turn out? She was offered a ridiculously high-paying job before she even finished college. She has a huge house and luxury cars and a good-looking husband who worships her, so I feel like it worked out for her. He went to a fancy college and became a drug dealer, a really good one, got busted, and was kicked out. Then he got sober, went to a local college, started his own engineering company, and now he's rich. I know a few drug dealers that ended up going legit and still being very wealthy. I guess the skills apply to both industries equally. They see opportunities and take it, no matter what the risk is, and it pays off. I went to a small public high school in Massachusetts. Our most likely to succeed was the type of kid who couldn't stand the faux intellectual high school types in his AP classes, and hung around quite a bit with the stoners and party crowd, of which I was a part. He's everything I figured he'd turn out to be. Went to an Ivy League school, took a job in high finance, moved to Singapore, started his own consultancy and sold it for an insane amount of money. He's now in his mid-40s and living in Hong Kong, and is a partner in some international finance firm. I occasionally see him being interviewed on MSNBC or Fox Business. He came home last year, and we went to some local dive bar to have a few beers. He hasn't changed a bit, just a great dude. She went to Yale and is now a psychiatrist specializing in providing care to low-income communities. She was the nicest person in the whole school and I'm so glad that her life has gone so well for her. Perfect grades, played every sport, led in every school play, everything you love to hate, but you couldn't hate her. A wonderful gal. I had a girl like that in my high school, too. Class president, captain of dance line, social equivalent of the stereotypical high school cheerleading team, and her teeth alone were perfect enough to make you want to hate her. But you couldn't, because she was so dang nice. I hope she's doing well. They post their GPA after every semester on Facebook, as well as how their job internship interviews are going and how they're such a qualified candidate. This person also campaigned for most likely to succeed, in case you couldn't tell already. Oh, I would have hated that sucker when I was in high school. Still gorgeous, always was an amazing and genuine person and now makes a killing traveling around the world selling high-end business jets. Turns out if you are exceptionally intelligent and charismatic, have dual degrees in aeronautical engineering and business and look like a supermodel, life will work out pretty okay. I like the idea that the person who is selling the business jets could also model in front of said jets, and also repair the aforementioned jets in the event of damage. Let's just say M makes fools of us all. Not me, not even twice. Extremely nice guy who people never gave a chance, because he was overweight, focused on studying and getting into college. First and second year of college lost about 80 pounds and started dating his now wife. Was really involved in college and graduated with a business degree. He now manages a Whole Foods, and last I talked to him was really happy. He deserved everything he got. Extremely good dude. If people never gave him a chance, how was he voted most likely to succeed? They're on their like 5th masters now since they're too afraid to actually enter the real world, so they just keep perpetually staying in school on scholarships and grants. They seem happy, but they're not exactly succeeding. I went to an affluent public school. We didn't really have most likely to titles at my school, but the student body president in my class was a trip. He was kind of known as a druggy type dude. So was everyone including myself. He was really into Stone Temple Pilots and bands like that, and fronted a band. After high school he worked at a tobacconist, and did his undergrad at Baylor. He then got a job as a lobbyist for the American Cancer Society, proceeded to get sleeved up with tats, then got into UCLA Law School. He graduated, but never passed the bar, so now he sings bro country. I saw him at our 20 years high school last year and he acted like he was so smacked out on heroin that he couldn't stand. Heck of a nice guy though. That's the oddest career trajectory I've ever heard of. She teaches children to play musical instruments at her house, and plays trumpet in local music groups' orchestras. I think it sounds pretty sweet, but apparently our classmates thought she'd be like a musical legend by now or something. People who don't do music tend to underestimate how difficult it actually is to be famous or well known. He was our valedictorian. Super smart guy, nice as heck. He turned down scholarships to the Naval Academy, the Air Force Academy and Rutgers. He went on to work at a local video store before knocking his GF up, getting hooked on coke and essentially dropping out of society. The last I heard he was working for a construction company somewhere in Tennessee. Pressure can be too much sometimes. He's dead. He's a doctor. He went to Cornell, so all in all pretty dang well. He was supposed to get a fully paid scholarship in physics but turned it down and signed a 5-year contract with the Navy. I think he's the captain of a ship now. Other one is on his way to become a neurologist. Yo, Navy physics nuclear engineer is where it's at BTW. They are always sniping the students from top engineering schools too. She got pregnant with twins her first semester of college, lost her track scholarship, and currently manages the local Burger King. He was the most popular guy in school, about 350 in my class. He was also known as a ladies' man. He dated the hottest girls in school and all the girls wanted to date him. 15 years later and judging by his FB posts he is quite successful. He's still very attractive and the biggest surprise is that he's gay. Who would have thought the guy banging all the hot girls in high school would be gay? Heck, I'm a straight dude and I'm not afraid to admit him and his boyfriend are both really good looking. Like model material. He felt his time was done and wanted to give the rest of us hideous chuds a chance. They're off succeeding and crap. But seriously, I think one was crowned the Icelandic Princess of Seattle or some random thing like that. Icelandic Princess of Seattle. Okay, I don't know where to start with what's wrong with this. He was a legitimately nice guy. Kind of quiet and nerdy. He opened his own electrical engineering firm and has been successful. He has 3 kids and a really pretty wife. They're a cute family. She was an insufferable goody 2-shoes, buzzkill, and informant. She and her parents made a huge deal of the fact she'd been accepted to both Harvard and Yale, and often vocally fussed about which one to choose. 2 months after graduation she was pregnant by her youth pastor. Oh, and they are brother and sister. There were 2 in my class. The girl went on to college and studied abroad in Italy. She graduated and went into marketing for a smaller company. Now, she works for Google and travels a lot. The guy, coincidentally is like my brother, had a full ride to fit and double majored in computer engineering and software engineering. His internship was with EA Games. He was offered a job immediately from Microsoft as a software engineer. He was part of the team who helped develop Windows 8. He gave me a code for Windows 8 and the newest Microsoft Office to get them for free. When I once asked him about it, he said that he's at work 10+ hours a day smoking weed. Mayo. He now works at Tableau. He owns a townhouse and just got engaged to his girlfriend of 7 years. I'm super proud of him. He came from an extremely disadvantaged and traumatic background and threw all of his effort into making something of himself. He went to medical school 2 years early and while studying was diagnosed with lymphoma. He beat cancer and now is starting his practice. He had to be valedictorian, an engineer, a doctor and beat cancer. I love this guy. High school class of '08 here. The girl who won it does investigative reporting for Nashville's NBC affiliate. She had a Nashville politician call her a B in front of the camera on microphone and he had to resign shortly thereafter. Of the 2 guys who could have won it, one had a startup that was just recently funded by Google Ventures to the tune of God knows how much. And the other guy who could have won it does bonds trading and doing really well for himself. Recently got into a fit streak and is crazy healthy. He's also one of my closest friends. She had a Nashville politician call her a B in front of the camera on microphone. Sounds like she was pretty good at investigatory reporting then. We didn't have that. The yearbook committee actually decided to just write a poem that said something nice about everyone in the class. It was pretty baller. Sad I lost my copy. But for the people that everyone thought were going places, one of them is now in a moderately successful theater company, and other committed suicide. 1/2 ain't bad I guess. I was the one voted most likely to succeed. I own my own video production company and am currently barely managing to stay afloat. The girl who won that superlative has a PhD in genetics and I'm not entirely sure how that's going for her. You need to hook up with those above who have turned to amateur film roles. Mine went to the University of Maryland and then actually played for the NBA for a few years, and now, about 20 years later, he's coaching the Orlando Magic. I think he still spends most of his time being unusually tall. We've got some doctors and lawyers and such, including myself, but he's probably still actually the most successful person, at least financially speaking, even if he's just living off of interest on what he made in his early 20s. On the bright side, he was a really decent, hard-working guy and never seemed to let any of it get to his head at all, so I don't begrudge him a bit of it. Valedictorian got most likely to succeed, should have been most likely to suck dong, since she now does amateur P. Girl, engineer and lives locally. Boy, one of my good friend, has engineering degree and a master's from a great university, moved all the way across the US. Was voted the most likely to succeed. I'm doing alright, I suppose. I graduated college, still no idea what I'm doing with my life, and if I'm honest I suppose I'm still not 100% over my girlfriend of 4 years breaking up with me and seeing someone else. Although I did recently move to Australia to travel and scuba dive for a year, so I've got that going for me, which is nice. Me and this one girl were said to be most likely to develop an alternative fuel source. I'm in business and she is studying clean energy systems. At least they got one of them right. We go the same uni. That's an oddly specific prediction for high schoolers. I was voted least likely. That's it. Just least likely. So pardon me if I seem feisty. I won the Avery Blaine Handsomeness Scholarship to Princeton, and then attended Harvard Business School, where I was voted most Jack Donaghy. NCAA D1 athlete and he just started his medical residency. Pretty nice guy, too. My mom said he would be a great musician. He drowned equals. This cat is shocked that you haven't liked this video yet. Like it fast so they can calm down. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video, or don't. Either way, have a great day you magnificent people.